Well, Happy New Year to you and yours. Yes, thanks for joining us here on New Vision TV. My name is Lynn Komjisha, and here, still business as usual. Yeah, with me is Paul Busharizi. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Oh, and welcome to the New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too.
Thanks. We start off with, well, the first quarter of 2018-2019 of the financial year. The economy has been said to have grown by 6.8% in the first quarter. Paul, why is this significant? Why should we be excited about this?
Well, we should always be excited, especially. I mean, figures of economic growth should excite people because there are two things, and people kind of make a mistake of interchanging them. There's economic growth,
right,
and there's development.
I thought they're the same.
No, they're not the same. So economic growth is that the economy is growing, as it suggests. Activities in
there's economic activity.
Economic activity.
Right.
Development means that you are improving the living standards or the living conditions of the people. You can have growth and no development.
But you can have economic development.
But interestingly, you can have growth with no development, but you cannot have development without growth. That's why growth is an important thing.
Wow.
Growth first, then the development follows. Yes.
So where are we right now?
So, well, 6.8% is good.
In what terms?
I remember a few years ago, this is probably, well, not a few, maybe about 10 years ago, the World Bank used to say that if we are going to have our poverty figures, we need to grow by 7% for 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why growth is important. It will lift more and more people out of poverty if it is, if it shifts, if it becomes development.
Yes. Has that was translated yet?
Well, I think the challenge for Uganda has been that we have grown. The last time the economy contracted, meaning it had experienced negative growth, was in 1985. That's 34 years ago. However, the challenge has been we have not been very good at distributing this growth so that it creates development for all. A few people have benefited from it, especially people in urban areas. This is because most of the growth has come from things like construction, services. We're talking about things like banking, telecommunications, retail trade, that kind of, retail trade is separate. So, unfortunately, how the rural areas, the majority of people would have benefited if the growth in agriculture was just as fast. And unfortunately, over the last so many years, 3 decades or so, agricultural growth, the growth of the output in agriculture has not matched the growth, like for whatever those services that are concentrated around urban areas. So the biggest beneficiaries of the last 30 years have been people in the cities, in the towns.
Oh, yes. Now, Paul, does this mean it has an impact on the second and third quarters of the financial year?
Yes, yes, of course it will, because you know, of course, if they're going to say the whole year, they have to take every quarter as it comes. So what it means is that we've got off to a good start in the year.
Oh, yes.
And the quarter you're talking about is July to September, I think. July, August, September. July, August, September. And that is when rains normally are, which would have resulted in better harvests later down the year. The rains last year, I think, were good. They weren't too much, and they weren't I think they were just optimum. Right. So we can expect that when the figures for the second quarter come out, that growth would have continued into the second quarter, which is great for us.
All right. So
harvests.
You explained earlier that economic growth usually is because of there's a performance of industry, services, and agriculture.
In our case.
In our case. So those are the only areas?
No. Those are the ones over the last 30 years that have grown very strongly. Even agriculture has grown, but has not grown very much. You know, you can have, I've seen figures of industry doing double digits, you know, 15%, 10 and above percent. Agriculture has barely, it's rarely grown beyond 10%, which is a problem, because if you have your biggest, you know, 70% of Ugandans derive their livelihood from the land, from agriculture. If 70% are only sharing a small part of growth, then you can see there's a problem. It's kind of inverted.
Okay.
So the guys in the city who are fewer are sharing a bigger part of the growth, which kind of, in theory, it should be the other way around.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
How can that be dealt with?
Well, thankfully, things are already beginning to happen.
Yes.
Interestingly, things like Operation Wealth Creation, which has been distributing seedlings and inputs to farmers. We've already seen some gains there. For example, coffee. We are set this season to export 5.1 million bags. That's a record. We've never exported more than 4-point-something million bags, 5.1 million bags. And this is towards the target in 2025, when we want to export, I think, 20 million bags. So you can see there's some movement in the agriculture area as well. The thing is, of course, these things take time.
Yes, yes, yes.
And part of the challenge with agriculture is that for the majority of farmers, they're still using very outmoded, rudimentary methods of agriculture. Things as basic as spacing, they don't do spacing of things. So if there's some effort to resuscitate what they call extension workers, and these extension workers normally go and advise farmers on how to grow. You know, it looks obvious. Of course, because of the country we are in, you know, you just throw a seed there and it will grow. But if the rural extension farmers can come in and advise much better, even at the very basic level, those basic levels, you can expect productivity to go up. Farmers will make more product, make more money, and we begin to see a growth going to the rural areas, which will be fantastic.
Development as well.
Development, yes. Because yes, if the growth goes to the rural areas, imagine if all the farmers start improved incomes from their growth. You know, if you give people money, they kind of develop. They buy themselves better clothes, they roof their houses, they build better quality houses, they send their kids to school, they
improve their products.
Absolutely, health care. That's what development is about, improving the living conditions of the people. Are you healthier? Are you more educated? If you're more educated, you're more likely to get a better income than if you're not. So, fingers crossed, we'll continue like this for the next 30 years.
What? Oh?
We'll be first world.
All right. Wow. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.